Volleyball was never my dream initially. It was a dream of one of the coaches. When he came to Tejpur, there was no one from Assam representing the Indian team. So volleyball, you need tall players, and he used to go out to all those shoe stores searching for people wearing 10 size shoes, and then he identified my father, then he spotted me.
Who were the earliest supporters who helped?
First, I consulted all the team, the centers, the grassroots coaches that we want to start a league, and where if my village goes to your village, will you be able to serve as a meal? And all of them agreed. There were like around 50 of them. And then I realized there is a traveling cost to it. And also, we would love to give a playing kit to the children. So just sitting down in my drawing room, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were there. They were giving me 5,000 just to buy some shoes for the kids. So I told that, can you increase it by 10,000 more, like 15,000, and be a owner of a team? So they don't know, we becoming like Ambanis. So yeah, similar to that. And that's how the idea clicked actually.
Ground impact within Assam of the league.
There's a center called Dhamdhama, whose center in charge was Samsu. He came to join us. He went to his village. He started coaching, and he is from Muslim community, and that village is majority is like Hindu community, right? So he started coaching all together, and the team is formed. And when Durga Puja is organized in their village, the boys and girls from Muslim community serves as volunteer in the puja pandal. And now the local community has requested him to fight for the panchayat election. He has won the panchayat election. So this is the kind of leadership and change volleyball and BVL is making.
Abhijit, welcome to Raising an Athlete, and thank you so much for making time for the show.
Thank you so much, Amita. Thank you.
At the outset, Abhijit, I have to tell you that when I read about the Brahmaputra Volleyball League, it almost made me emotional. It kind of reinstates my own faith in humanity. What we hear all around us is how, we are governed by a world where everyone's kind of looking out for their own self-interest. And in that time and age, to look at a community coming together where everyone's interests are mutually protected, where the values that you have seeded in it of humility, where even the athletes are celebrated not just for their achievement but for their effort, for their spirit. I think it is a commendable effort, and I must congratulate you at the outset for putting something like this together.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me for your show. I hope I will be able to contribute something at least. Thank you.
So before we even discuss about BVL, I want to ask you about your own journey as an athlete. How did you get started with volleyball?
My journey started way back when I was just in class 5. And it was actually, volleyball was never my dream initially. It was a dream of one of the coach who was like newly appointed by state government in our district. And he was kind of a very passionate person. And before, like, he had this dream of sending one player from our state to the Indian team. So when he came to Tejpur, there was no one from Assam, not even from Northeast representing the Indian team. So he started exploring for players, because for volleyball you need tall players, and he used to go out to all those shoe stores searching for people wearing 10 size shoes, and then he identified my father, then he spotted me. At that point of time, I was playing badminton in the same ground, the polo ground, where we recently hosted the Super League of Season 5. So he called me and he motivated me. I just played sports for the sake of it, because I love sports. Then he started encouraging me that if you play volleyball, you will be able to see Delhi, Mumbai, and you will be able to someday may represent the Indian team. And then as a 10 years old who was good for nothing, not good in sports, or not good in academics, and a part of a huge joint family, and somebody putting interest on you definitely get struck to it. And he started motivating me, and at the same time he also motivated other players and the part of the community, the coaches and other people who were in sports, to sacrifice and support so that one player from my district and from my state go on to represent the Indian team. So I am a product of collective support of a lot of people, but it's a collective sacrifice of a lot of people. So that's how my journey started, and it took long years for me to represent the state team. It took 6 years. Then I got an opportunity to finally represent the Indian team.
Wonderful. It was vision of a coach, and I think in some ways you carry that legacy forward. You had a remarkable career yourself. You've represented 4 states of India. You've captained 3 of them. Can you walk us through the broader journey of Indian volleyball? Like, where did it start, and where are we today? And I believe that volleyball has been an Olympic sport since 1964, but India's never really qualified for it. So what will it take to truly arrive? If you could just give a sense of that.
Okay, the time when I started volleyball and when I was dreaming for playing for the Indian team, that was the golden phase of probably Indian volleyball. In 1986, the Indian team were a bronze medalist in the Asian Games. 1995, the junior team did very well, a silver medal in a junior Asian championship. And then we were part of a mission like Project 2001 of Volleyball Federation of India. So they were all like identifying players at younger age, grooming them for long hours in coaching, long months of coaching, like 15 months of coaching. And that was the time our world ranking reached up to 24th in the entire global world ranking of volleyball. Out of 220 countries, we were 24th. And that was the time when we were 5th in the Asian Championship. We were winning the Rashid International. Our youth team won the silver medal in World Youth Championship. The junior team was doing pretty good. They were silver medalists in Junior World Championship. So that was probably the best time of Indian volleyball. But somehow down the line, and it was in the 21st century during 2001, 2, 3, we were beating teams like Korea, beating teams like Iran. And they suddenly took their game off. They planned it in a proper way in the long run. And today, Iran and Korea are in the best 10 in the world, best 12 in the world. And somehow we missed the bus, and because of our some infightings, or you can say some issues with the federation, our world ranking went down. So hopefully by now again it is coming up. World Volleyball Federation is very interested in pushing Indian volleyball to the next level because we have talent in our.
Yeah, and I think with leagues like Brahmaputra Volleyball League, I think there's a lot of talent that's coming forth. So one's hopeful that things will be shifting, and with the training of coaches that's happening. Can you share which are the states that have traditionally been the powerhouses of volleyball in India, and how is that changing now?
Yes, like states like Kerala, we know that people are passionate. Wherever you go, like you will full pack stadium with like makeshift stadiums, and places like Tamil Nadu, even Karnataka, in Andhra Pradesh. Earlier, Andhra Pradesh was a powerhouse in volleyball. Then we have Punjab, Haryana. These were the powerhouse, and UP definitely they have this all through season. They were playing volleyball. But now the scenario is changing. Players are coming up from states like Maharashtra, from Himachal Pradesh, from Jammu and Kashmir, from Rajasthan. And in terms of popularity during the lockdown, and even ever since 2019-20, we don't have a proper federation. But volleyball is booming and getting popularity in states like Assam, because like in the last 4 or 5 years, we have been able to introduce more than 11,000-12,000 children to volleyball, and the league is going on. So overall, the standard of Indian volleyball is really very good.
Fantastic. Coming specifically to the Brahmaputra Volleyball League. Now, before it became the Brahmaputra Volleyball League, you started with Assam Volleyball 100, Mission 100. Can you share a little about the mission and what was the thought behind it?
It was like always, as you know, volleyball is like a popular rural sport, but it has never been the in sports or the most the urban sport. The privilege which teams like in cricket they enjoy and all. So we always looked up that how do we develop something for our own kids so that the volleyball players also take pride in this, but we do not have funds. It was in 2019 when, before that actually, prior to post my retirement, I was like helping small centers nearby my district. But in 2019, all former players of Assam came together and they thought that how do we promote our game? But we have no funds. And the initial idea was, their intention was that I join the association and become secretary. But I gave them very simple thought that if you really want to promote the game, you don't need to be in some federation or association. So let us start, since we don't have the required resources and the funding. So I just came up with this. Let's start very small. Let's start as small as collecting 100 balls and giving it to the children those who loves to play volleyball. Because volleyball is very popular in rural areas. But the children who wants to play this game, they don't have even a ball. So we started this mission. That's how our mission is called, Assam Volleyball Mission 100. And initially we could collect those 100 balls in just one month. Then our next goal was what to do next. So we thought that let us produce 100 new players. And post that, then when we produce 100 new players, then I told that let us support 100 new centers, village centers. And that was the time when COVID struck. So everything came to a standstill, and we still pursued it. I started training online through cloth ball. So that's how the mission actually started. And Brahmaputra Volleyball League came post-COVID once it is open.
Right. And honestly, when you began, was it a movement in your mind or just a small experiment? And at what point did it truly take off? who were the earliest supporters who helped build it into a movement?
I never thought it will grow so big, and like today, the International World Volleyball President has come to Tejpur, and it is something at a different level. I am talking to you about Brahmaputra Volleyball, but we never imagined it. With the idea was just to support the kids, and one thing I knew from my earlier experiences or all, funding cannot come and support this. Once the intentions comes from within and the community is involved and they understand the importance, how sports can change the entire environment of a village, only then we can be lasting long and travel long. So when we started, it was like just a simple idea, an experimenting idea that let's move ahead in this direction. And when I came up with this concept, the teams traveling, because first I consulted all the team, the centers, the coaches, the grassroots coaches, that we want to start a league and by name Brahmaputra Volleyball, and where if my village goes to your village, will you be able to serve as a meal, like somebody donating rice, potato, pumpkin? And all of them agreed. There were like around 50 of them, that why not, if somebody comes to our village, we can definitely serve a community meal. So perfectly fine then. You already have a ground. So just that on one weekend I will go to your village, on next weekend you come to my village. So we made small pools, all the 50 teams. And then I realized that there are some villages which were very empowered. The community are together. In some villages there are one or two youngsters taking the initiative on their own shoulder. So then I realized that there is a traveling cost to it. So every team has to travel. The idea was to give exposure to the children, travel to new villages. And then I realized there is a traveling cost to it. And also we would love to give a playing kit to the children who have never owned a kid in their life. So just sitting down in my drawing room, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were there. So they wanted to support my initiative by some financial help. And I told them, can you increase your support? They were giving me 5,000 just to buy some shoes for the kids. So I told that, can you increase it by 10,000 more, like 15,000, and be a owner of a team? So they don't know, we becoming like Ambani's. So yeah, similar to that. And that's how the idea clicked actually. Then they agreed. Then I gave this support to one of the team which required the most. Then there were more teams which required support. So I made a small piece of paper, like one pager on this, and this is how we are moving ahead. If anybody wants to support, they were fine. Like my family was back there. My sister was there. They were willing to support and all. So there was Krishna Hazarika. He was a badminton player, and I shared it in one of the WhatsApp group of sports WhatsApp group of Assam. And she called me up. She called me and tried to understand what is this. Found this very interesting, and she told that she, along with Asavari Power from her friend from playing days from Mumbai, will be supporting one team. So we gave them one team, and I just made a small poster of them, like thank you Asavari and Krishna ma'am for supporting the Majuli team. So that's when this poster, they shared this small poster, they shared in a WhatsApp group of women badminton, international badminton players. So that's when Aparna Papat came to know about it. Then it was big for me because she called me and told that Aparna wants to support, why don't you call her up? So I was very reluctant, and anyway I called her, and she was very supportive. So when Aparna came on board, I started telling everyone, look, this is how we are working, and Aparna Papat is supporting. Support came pouring in from many different people, and it became very popular. Then there was this Tejpur University MBA Alumni Association. So there were a couple of 4 or 5 guys. So they supported me initially.
Fantastic. So it was all organically built. And what strikes me most is that I think thanks to IPL, when we think of league in India, we really think about top-down structure, franchise and auctions and high valuations and money. But I think what Brahmaputra Volleyball League did was it actually flipped that model entirely, building it bottoms up with really, I think, backers like this, but also village community as its soul and the driving force. Can you also unpack the thinking behind this unique model? Like, why did you choose this approach, and what makes it so powerful and sustainable?
2 things. First is like when you go to a village, if you'll see like adults playing a game, any sport or volleyball or football. Kids started coming to the ground at the age of 8, 10, 7. And they just come and watch the adults play, and when they go, they touch the ball and they enjoy just in the ground. And till the age of 15, they don't have any platform. These young kids who come to ground. So by the time they reach age 14, 15, their motivation level drops down, and they go to other direction. Their energy gets channelized into different ways. They are like exposed to mobiles and exposed to video games, and that's how their interest lose. But initially, everyone loves to touch the ball, come to the ground. That was one. Secondly, the village coaches, the one who spend 2 hours time, they are not professional coaches. I say it's a midwife model. We don't need neurosurgeons to do operations. Like we don't need neurosurgeons in the emergency department or in the village hospital. We just need midwives. So for me, it's a midwife model. but they are the one who actually spend time, pick up the player from the house, motivate the parents, whatever they know, they explain. But these coaches are never given credit, because once the player becomes slightly better, someone else take away. And in the district level, they would never get a chance to coach the district team. Someone else like me who have represented the state or the country will come to coach Chalaja. So these are always left out and they do not get the due respect. Our model is as such that these coaches, if they made the team, if they win, they comes up to like district, then zonal, then the super league. They get all the respect. It happens. And that's how it's actually a kind of leadership developed. Thirdly, the children never get an opportunity to go out of their village. So when matches are, if they at all go out, the parents never get the children to play matches, because we go outside and play and parents remain there. But when a match is happening in their own village, the community comes together. So there is an kind of involvement from all stakeholders. And that's how it's kind of ownership. Because if you go to any village, right, we started with just 50 teams, now we have 400 teams. So if you go to any village, where there is no sporting environment, the children, the youth will be roaming around in the evening. They come from school and they go out, they talk, make groups. The girls will be on one side, the boys will be on the side. When BVL entered a village, like all these boys started coming together. All of a sudden, a team is formed. When a team is formed and they wear their jersey with their own name and the village name behind, the villagers take pride in this. When they win, their village names comes in the newspaper. So it's a kind of a community involvement, kind of attachment, and they feel it as their own, as a kind of pride that everyone should come and play and help these kids out. Engagement of the village and bringing everyone together was the idea behind this entire league. And we do not have resources, so let the resources come from the community. That's the idea.
Right. So one of the biggest strengths of BVL is the deep sense of ownership and community in villages, which you spoke about, which is often missing, I feel, that in the urban centers that we live in, where we are full of migrants and there isn't a sense of ownership or community, or at least it's diminished over a few years. Now, do you feel a model like this can succeed in cities, or is it fundamentally rooted in the rural culture or the village values? And where else do you think this can be replicated?
No, I do feel like the basic feeling of human beings are also like same. You feel good when you are part of a team and your teams win. So, but over time now things have changed. Like earlier, the coach were very passionate to produce one player that he can with pride he can say that my player has reached the district level or the state level. So now the things in the urban area has slightly changed because of we are probably not much professional. We are likely a little bit of commercial.
Yes.
And that's how it is hampering actually. But if there is right kind of intention and right kind of leadership, then it will definitely work. With right intention when right leadership works, then people come together. They don't doubt your intention. Now, right now, it is in the cities, who to trust, who not to trust is the biggest issue. But as a community, our overall the sense of team, belongingness, winning, all these things are same. एक साथ आके हमें जीतना है. So that feeling is same.
So you feel that this is something that can work even in urban centers if it is put together with the right values and intentions?
Yes. Say for example, it can be inter-school also. It can be inter-community also. It's just a matter of putting things together. A lot of energy goes into it. So it's easier in villages and then in cities.
Right. Another thing I want to ask you, Abhijit, and this is when we were doing our course on building Sporting Nation, and we were talking about sports and the different purposes that it serves. I mean, it's at multiple layers. It helps improve your health. It can help you earn a livelihood, life skills, or strengthen communities. Now, BVL seems to touch all of these aspects, but what would you say is the primary purpose it's designed to serve? Like at its core, what is it really solving?
It's basically creating a healthy society, healthy society in terms of physical as well as emotional and mental everywhere. And it's binding people together. Like if you see a current society, and we all are very working in islands, like individualistic and all. And when a league like BVL happens, the entire community coming together, it's like a big family now. If you look at, I always say BVL family. And in our family, if you look at, we don't have any written rules. In the end of second season, I was thinking we should write down all the rules. This should be the strict parameters. This should be the what. But we work on verbal rules. There are laid down verbal rules Because if I write down those rules for our people, it won't be a family kind of thing. In family, we don't write rules, right? We just say, and everybody knows that this is the time we eat dinner, we have to do this. That's work, it happens actually. Even the matches, we don't decide when they're going to play. We just say, these are the pools, you have to play among themselves. You come to us and say that on this weekend we are going to play. Then we finalize the schedule for that weekend. Because if we decide, they may be having some issues in their village, some marriage, some death, so they won't be able to organize that. So we leave it, we make it decentralized. And the fact that if I write the rules, every day I will be sitting down and giving judgment. I have to be a judge there. This team has done this team has done that, and they will come to me. My energy will go into all those solving problems.
I think that's fantastic. And I think, I don't know if it was conscious on your part, but when we talk about movements and what does it take to build a movement, I think it, like, the Brahmaputra Volleyball League seems to have like each and every aspect of it in some way, where the ecosystem comes together, where the participants feel empowered. So that's something that I'm curious to know, that was that intentional, building blocks of a movement together, or was it again something very organic that happened?
It is organic and also slightly planned and giving a direction to the people. And fact that love is something which binds everyone together. We made some very what common like decisions, like we never sit our meetings, you will see always we are in a round, like there is no main VIP chair. We have not built that culture. We sit in a round and nobody have any designation, nobody have big designation, small designation, everyone is like treated equal. So that's how people feel comfortable. And one thing I learned, anybody that's come from me, like if somebody contributing just 100 rupees for my league and somebody contributing 1 lakh rupees, I try to give equal importance to everyone. At the grassroots, a person coming who is earning like 5,000 rupees a month and giving 100 rupees is big for him. But fact that he is giving and he is finding love and respect. So that's the reason it is growing, but it has never been intention like, it's not a formula like making it a revolution or mass movement, and this is the way. But we have been very truthful with ourselves, and the intentions are very, very clear. So we love each other. That's the reason. That's how it is. And when core system value is formed, then somebody new joins, they automatically follow and fall in line.
Right. And I feel that percolates every space, including the digital space of BVL. When I go on your Instagram page, there are many things that strike me. I see a picture of a young girl standing with an Olympian volleyball player. And a hero is being described, but the hero being described is not the Olympian. It is the little girl and her story which is being prioritized. I love that there is original music, maybe singers from the local community, even the soundtracks that are being used. So I love the fact that the values of the league stand out in every space, including the digital one. Just coming back on the league itself, because one of the things we want to do through this conversation is for those who may not know about this initiative to get a sense of how it started, how it scaled up, and how this has been so innovative. So I think one of the most striking images of BVL is also of the village youth kind of live streaming matches using my mobile phones mounted on the bamboo tripods, which apparently would stream for 170 villages and really like for backers globally, because they can watch it on Sport. So this is a great example of Jugaad or community-led innovation. What are some of the other unique innovations, big or small, that the league has come to be known?
There are many. Just to quote few. One thing we do is when we organize the Super League, children comes from different villages, right? And all this, when they come, we need to use single-use plastic for them, for the paper plates and all. So we ask them to carry their own plates so that they wash and reuse it. And also some plates for us where we all wash and use it, right from the one laborer who is cleaning the floor to me or to even some guest. We serve the same plate so that the entire what we call the caste and all those things get dissolved, and there is no like, we don't follow any religious and all those things, we respect all, and in a way we also reduce single-use plastic down the line for all these things. the tripods is another one. Thirdly, what we did is like in season 2 or season 3, when I came to know that there were girls who were very good at sport, but I am not seeing them in some teams. So when I called the center in charge, they got to know that these girls have attended puberty, and there is a common belief in their village that parents think that once the girl attends puberty, they should not play with the boys or should not go out and play. And they started coming to the ground. So that's how we started taking this hands-on. We gave sanitary napkins to all these girls, wherever there is girls team, and asked our center in charge, those who are like 90% of our coaches are male, to distribute it. So when they distributed secretly. In one of the center, they lined up and they hand over the sanitary pads in the lineup, and they gave a photograph of that in our WhatsApp group. And before I could see that photograph, there is a series of discussion going on where someone is complaining, not someone, majority of them are complaining that these are the things which should not be given in open. And then I realized, what is this? Then I again struck upon, then I told that this is something we have to give openly. Unless we talk about it, we give it, distribute openly, the girls will never open up to you. And we made it mandatory that now onwards we have to take photographs, talk to them. Then the awareness came in, and then we also invited teams from Aditi. Probably have interviewed her from Simply Previous. She sent a team twice to us to train our coaches, all the male coaches, on menstrual hygiene, then how to train girl child during puberty. So these were the other initiatives we have taken up, which have helped in now if you see boys into girls ratio has almost, in season 1 it was like 2:1. Now it's almost 1:1, not completely but 1:1. Then again, when the president of World Volleyball came into Tejpur, we did not install a single banner or a poster. It's very, nowhere you find a league happening and there is no poster of the big personality coming in. It is because of the fact that when we asked for a photograph of the president, even FIVB communication team, head of the communication, she sent me a photograph saying that, Abhijit, please highlight only the children, not the president, because it is the children who is important. That's the thought process of our global body. And they sent me a photograph of 54 kb so that I cannot enlarge it. I could have done otherwise, and then we took a decision that we are not going to install a single poster in Tejpur. We don't want to pollute our town, and that's the storyline we want to build. We have never installed a stage to welcoming, big stage like event manager. No, we just created a village house there, and there was no elevated stage. We wanted people to feel that Olympians and our players are all same. We are on the same level. It's not like they're on the stage. And even if we want, then we can also become Olympians. That's the message we want to send across. And it was well taken by everyone. And also, we have not taken corporate funding. There were small corporates in Tejpur town who were willing to provide us with few lakhs of rupees, which was big for us, provided we install posters. But we said no. And then how people contributed, like rice, dal, potato, vegetables, everything came from the local people of Tejpur. So we want to make this as a movement of people's initiative. And that's how actually message spreads.
That's fantastic what you just shared, that when you have a big mission that you're trying to do, and you would even say no to funds because it doesn't match the values that the mission stands.
Yes, we definitely need funds, but we are very clear about certain things, that we won't be promoting any brands which is not good for children. We would never take like energy drink or some cola drinks which is not good for the children. We won't be, irrespective of what amount they give, we are very conscious and very clear about this. We are not taking support from any kind of brand which is the products which are not good for the children.
So I do want to ask, because we're talking about sponsorships, I think I read somewhere that when this started, I think sponsorship that was asked was as humble as rupees 14,000 rupees. You could adopt a team. And I read a comment of you saying somewhere that you could even donate something as simple as a banana for a team. So no contribution is big or small. Now, over a period of time, how has this model evolved, and what kind of support have you received from individual sponsors, both in India and internationally? I believe there are very inspiring stories of, backers, of sponsors, both in the village and outside of it in other countries. And what I find also interesting is that at least in the world of CSR, where you talk about accountability and showing the sponsors that how is the money being used, I find that fascinating with how the match is being broadcast. So for someone who's even living, I read an example of somebody in Germany who's supporting, that person can actually see that the funds that they contributed here on ground, this is the effort that's happening. So without any marketing team, you put this together, and how has this changed from season 1 to now?
We haven't changed much, but a few more people has joined, and For first 3 seasons, I used to take photographs and make a small video in my mobile and post it, the raw footage. So that's how we say that without spending a single penny, we could grab the attention of the world body. So this is something zero marketing, and definitely the broadcast has been a big positive for us. The live streaming of matches, it happens because of one of my senior who came, and the idea was discussed that how do we do this without any funds and all, then came up with the bamboo tripod idea. The children came up, it was replicated. Then these mobile broadcasters were trained from the villages who were not volleyball players but interested in like playing with the mobile. Over the years, many people has come forward and supported in very different ways. Like somebody, say for example, our theme song in season 1, somebody wrote it, somebody composed it, and somebody actually produce it. So everything right from the village people contributing rice to someone at the top. Like this year, Vladimir Gribic and his brother. Vladimir is a Olympic gold medalist. His brother is the coach of the Poland team which won silver medal in the Paris Olympics. They both combinedly adopted one team. This way, primarily our support comes for the adoption of team, but there are others who have supported in other small means and all. So that's how it is happening. And one more interesting, till today, probably we haven't approached any sponsors. Sponsors have come on their own. That's something unique. But this year we have to, because the league has grown so big, now it's very difficult for us to manage it.
Right. And if you could also speak about some of the brand sponsors, I read about Vector X and
yes.
Also about Philips in terms of its lighting. If you could speak a little about that.
Yes. Our first support we received was from Oil India Limited. When we were concluding season 1, they wanted to do something in their oil field areas in Assam, Upper Assam. There is three districts where they have presence. They invited me, so we conducted a trainer program for the former volleyball players there, and then I went there and stayed there for a week and mobilized 30 former players. And these players, we did not give them anything, just balls and net. They went back, and now we have around 60-70 teams from that 3 districts of Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. That's an outcome of Oil India. They have also helped us in organizing the Super League for 2 seasons in their own campus. That is Oil India. 1 year ONGC supported us with balls when the chairman came to watch our Super League, with balls and tracksuits. Then finally season 4 and season 5 Vector X came on board. They gave us the entire balls requirement, whatever we have. We made customized ball for the under 12 age group category. And this year we since we did not put any banners and there were no other sponsors, so just in front of the podium we wrote Vector X with bamboo and rice and painted it and put 3 balls there where the president himself was speaking. That was an innovative idea we came up with. And Signify was very interesting. Signify, the Philips company's involvement in us is very interesting. Before that, I just posted one small post in LinkedIn stating that when do Assamese players in Assam play? Because in monsoon 3 months you are underwater, and during monsoon it's rain, and during winter children comes from school at 3:30 and sun sets at 4:30. So when do they play? So that's how one of the manager from Philips, he approached me and he told her, what is your initiative, to know about it. Then they were contemplating to support installing lights in 2 courts. And they somehow invited me to their corporate office in Gurgaon. I went there, I talked to their marketing head, Mr. Nikhil. When I explained him the entire gamut of things happening in VBL, the number of matches and villages, then he told that, Abhijit, 2 grounds would be peanuts for your entire initiative. So let us start by supporting installing lights in 20 grounds. So they installed permanent lights in 20 grounds, then again 10 more grounds. But it was taking long time because the budget was huge. So I asked them, why not give us simple lights? We put bamboo poles and fix the light there. So it would be very cost effective. So they agreed to it. So now we have lights to lit up 100 plus courts. So this year, season 5, we could complete BVL matches around close to 800 matches in just 3 months time. Earlier it was taking us 5 months time. So that's the impact, and children are getting to play more hours on the ground.
That's fantastic.
And in between also, Rupe has supported us for some grassroots initiative, Rupe and Numoligarh Refinery, for organizing camps and some small tournaments in between. So that was also a big help for us.
I find that fantastic what you said, that you've not approached sponsors. Somehow you put your intentions out there and the sponsors have come back to you. And even within that, the innovations that you suggested to kind of scale, I think that's fascinating. I also want to ask you, Abhijit, that I think the Volleyball Foundation approved of the Brahmaputra Volleyball League as one of its first projects globally. And I wanted to ask, like, what are the tangible changes that you've seen in league's growth and development with the participation of the Volleyball Foundation? What does that approval of the BVL as a project of Volleyball Foundation, what does that really mean?
This Volleyball Foundation is basically an social arm of FIVB. They want to make volleyball a global revolution, global movement. And the idea is to serve the world better through volleyball. So how do they serve it? So when the president came here, he once spoke to me and got to know about it. They were very interested that something like this is happening. But the foundation, the ideal thing about foundation is they can support any grassroots organization in the world directly. Otherwise, what is happening for the FIVB, they have to come through the national body, then through the state body, then the district body. That's how it works, the protocol works. But now they can support any organization. But their rules and regulations are very, very stringent, being registered in Switzerland, and they have their own set of SOPs. So we qualify as a silver category. So they have like around 32 sets of different criteria which we need to fulfill, starting with like the registration, audit statement, and all those things are the primary one. But then they have like do you have policy for child protection, do you have policy for like how do we, all those things comes up. But we are a very grassroots organization, we don't have those kind of detail. So we are in the silver, but in certain category we are at top. But they were asking us like about carbon footprints and sustainability. That's how we scored the highest. Our children goes to in cycle, we use tubewell for water, we don't use AC, lights and all those things. So we qualified under silver category. So now as part of the silver criteria, they are going to support us in 3 different levels. One is the train the trainer program. We just concluded the FIV level 1. This happened. And this is going to be a game changer because never in the world FIVB level 1 course was organized directly for grassroots coaches. It always happens through federation and they select, and from India 2 or 3 candidates will be there. It's happened like that. But on a block of like 45, 33 BVL coaches plus 12 from outside in Assam, we train this. Apart from that, they are also going to support us in our broadcast, the empowering the broadcast team, and also some manpower cost, because everyone is volunteering, right from me to the grassroots coaches, everyone is volunteering. No, just one person we pay some salary, a remuneration, and rest no one. But then again, those support will take some time because we need to get some FCRA foreign regulation funds. All those things are there. We are applying those and it's on the process.
Fantastic. So I think the FIVB level 1 coaching that you spoke about, I think like you said, it's a game changer because not just in volleyball, we keep hearing in terms of systemic problems that we have in Indian sporting system. Coaching is a huge weak area, and especially at the grassroots levels. Can you share examples of some of the grassroots coaches who participated in this program and how are they making a difference in their communities already?
This is actually something very different they have never thought of. Somebody, a grassroots coach, say for example the Monomoy team, Monomoy T-State coach, he has never played volleyball in his life. I taught him volleyball online. And in turn, he taught the children. But on the way, in the last 4 years, he has learned volleyball, and he is the one who has now become FIB certified coach. There are other coaches we have invited coaches from Manipur. I just received a message that next year he is coming up with 10 teams. He is so inspired with the BVL story that he is going back. Then there is this girl from Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. When her entire family was moving from their forest safe shelters, he was coming to Guwahati. She is going back and starting teams. He is already coaching. Then there is from Maharashtra, one of my friends. Then is one more in Chhattisgarh, Naxal area, Sandhya Madam. They are also going. So everyone now is interested to form teams in their village and also support other village teams to form team and play like BVL. Ultimately, our plan is to like sending a team from Assam to their village, Jammu and Kashmir. They coming to us. Then this exchange program start. So it will spread out, And also, just today we have received a request from a school, which is a center, in fact, a child care center, which deals with specially able children. So they want to start volleyball tie-up with a BIP, and that's how we are connecting one of the FIV level 1 trained coach who is near to this school. We are sending her to that center, and soon we will start this.
Fantastic. So it is really moving out from Assam to other parts, and that's how you're looking at, for the movement to carry forward. Have you seen any examples from elsewhere in India where a league of a similar nature has been launched, inspired by what you guys are doing?
Not yet.
Okay. I want to also ask you about the ground impact within Assam of the league. Beyond the game, how has the league changed lives in villages? I read a nice anecdote of the fact that the teenagers are now having less tobacco and, as they've adopted the game. but are there any other changes or shift that you've seen?
A lot. Basically, it's all about leadership. Leadership changes and the kind of empowerment the coaches are getting. Like they are directly connected to someone, which is now if they say something or they have a story, there is FIVB to listen to them. So that's the connect we have built actually. To quote a simple example, like there's a center called Dhamdhama whose center in charge was Samsul. In 2019, he came to join us and wanted to do something. Then we gave him some balls. He went to his village, he started coaching, and he is from Muslim community, and that village is like predominantly like majority is like Hindu community, right? So he started coaching all together and the team is formed. And when Durga Puja is organized in their village, the boys and girls from Muslim community serves as volunteer in the puja pandal. And now the local community has requested him to fight for the panchayat election. He fought the panchayat election. He has won the panchayat election. So this is the kind of leadership and change volleyball and BVL is making. And all these girls who have, some of the girls who have who become housewife after playing, they were volleyball players, they become housewife and they're into agriculture, wearing chadar mekhela in Assamese attire. We train them to become coach, and she has formed teams in the village. She earned respect from the local villagers. Earlier she was looked down to as just a housewife working, and now people are coming up to her and saying that you are up gaon ki izzat ho hamare, matlab, when the team is playing. So there are like multiple stories of change and happening through the BVL villages. Everyone they call. So we say that now we have if you come to Assam, you have a bed in, at least bed to stay, roof to stay in like 170 villages. And whenever you need, someone needs blood, someone needs some help, so there will be a BVL player to help you out.
That's fantastic. I think those are really all very interesting examples that you've shared of change. One point I also wanted to ask you was about girls. And even today, like I feel at a grassroots level, I feel that the participation of girls still kind of remains dismal. Like anecdotally, if I see kids playing around, and of course urban centers have their own issues because of safety, security, you don't see children playing in open spaces as they did in the past. The participation from girls still stays low. And you spoke about how in the BVL, actually the numbers in the season 5, there were more girls who registered than the boys. Do you feel that there is greater interest in rural centers when it comes to girls' participation, or is that a shift that you brought about in context of volleyball? How did it start and how has that shifted, and how is it different from the urban centers?
For us, we have always encouraged since beginning it is both boys and girls equally, and we always encourage and try to push for like more girls coming into play. And fact that it's a volleyball, we have this added advantage. It's a very sports which is like less injury, less contact, so they can play among themselves, and it's very girl friendly sport. You don't get hurt or you're safe at that point, and it's also entertaining, and that's one reason where you don't need bigger space, you need small space where you can start. And these are the multiple factors which actually help, and we always, whenever there is a meeting or so, we always encourage them to start with girls team. And also the fact of the matter, like our former volleyball players of Assam, the ladies players, those who were once players now retired and they have their family and their kids have also grown up, they are very active in our foundation. So everywhere there is a meeting or something, all our former ladies players, women players come with and support us. So their presence have immensely helped, and we have also encouraged in that way. And that the one we did for menstrual hygiene and all, that is another reason for why more girls are comfortable coming to volleyball. And we have created a very safe environment here in BVL. So that's the reason probably more girls are coming in.
Just one final question, Abhijit. One thought that strikes me is that as BVL grows and gains more recognition, and there are more outside resources that come in or attention, and there is potential of outside interest kind of taken on. I mean, we've seen in the past that happens. Now, how do you protect the original spirit of the movement and protect it from any commercial interests or?
Yes, that's a very right question, and it's pretty tough in this. And I am not a kind of person who is very commercial or who understand the professionalism. Whenever I get something on the LinkedIn that we want to do this and that, so I always pass on to Amitabh. He's my school senior. I am more comfortable with them because I am more of a volleyball passion and all those things, and I don't understand what's the motive. And somehow till now we are able to keep the same the soul of the BVL alive, because for me it's the emotions of all those children and all those center in charge. We are attached to them, and because of the personal contact and emotions, they are tied together. So anything big coming and disturbing, so we make very sure that we don't want much, we want to go slow, and we are very comfortable the way we are moving ahead. But definitely now that more and more villages are joining, we need manpower to connect them to like the one who is sponsoring the team. If they can get more, suppose you are adopting a team, you would like to know more about the village, what is happening besides like volleyball, how are the children doing in their academics, what is happening in the village. So we are unable to do that. Since season 1 it was like I alone knowing all the sponsors, but now it's like 400 teams. So we need manpower to manage all these things. So for this we need funds. So but then again, when these kinds of things comes up, we don't know what intention who have. But by God grace, if something divine power is there in BVL, we have been safeguarded till now.
And if I was to ask you, so I think season 1 there were 400 players, and season 5 had 400 teams. It's seen that kind of a growth. What's the vision forward, way forward in the coming years? What's your dream for BVL?
I don't have big dreams, but I want that volleyball should change life in villages as long as we can, to as many villages as we can. That's the ultimate end. And if the children from these villages going to represent the state team, the Indian team in the long run, that would be definitely a big milestone for us. The fact that now 100% of the players in the state team, sub-junior, juniors and under 18 and all are from BVL, and they have started winning. The girls team has for the first time under 14 and 17 has qualified for the quarterfinals. They have bet teams like Kerala, CBSE who were earlier champions. So this is a good sign and inspiration for them. Also, we wanted now to create a second level of the senior leagues. For us, like we are concentrating only on under 12 and under 16. Now the children who are crossing above 16, we are unable to keep trace of those talent because we have produced the talent. And they also is looking for some sponsor, better platform, because they started with BVL. And last year I took a round of the entire state, touching all the centers, bringing them together. And the only concern which came up is everyone wanted a league for the above 16. So we say either it's BVL senior or BVL plus. So we are looking for some funds so that we can build it. It would be a slightly different model. It would be on concentrating on quality. Now it's like quantity, mass. Whoever wants to play, it's a platform. Now in the district, they will be playing among themselves, and the top players from the district will form one team. They will come to the zone, and entire zone there will be one top players from the zone qualifies for the Super Cup or whatever we name it, and all the top players in the teams come for the Super Cup and they play, and from there we select a team and send outside Assam for exposure. So that's the idea. We are planning to approach sponsors to organize this BVL Plus or BVL Seniors, whatever we call it. We call it BVL Rhino Cup maybe.
Fantastic. And just one final one of you as a sports parent, because this is a show also for sports parents, your philosophy as a parent when it comes to sports. What do you believe is the fundamental reason for why kids should be, or what is the message that you'd like to share with other sports parents?
For me, if you say my younger one plays swimming, so now she's like passionate about the sport, and we have to take her, either my wife or somebody or me, to the ground. And then again, there is my elder one. She is yet to decide which game she likes, so I'm taking her to volleyball and trying to push her up. So it depends upon the children and the individual. As a parents, what we can do is that we can take them to the ground and try different sport till the time they get attached to one of the sports and where they have talent probably. And we should see that we continue to push them to play sports initially as a recreation, and then when the interest come up, then they will definitely take up professionally, and then we have to support it. There is no other option. So you will like either leave some of your work or do, because their priority becomes our priority. It's very difficult, but if they have interest, then we should push them as much as we can.
I think my own learning, Abhijit, and I have this distinct memory, interestingly sitting right opposite the volleyball court in my school, and the boys are playing, but some of us girls would actually just have our notebooks open, and we used to think that, I'm not going to have a career in sports, so why should I be playing? And I wish there was someone at that point of time who would have told us that sports is so much more than just about career. It is about such important life skills, the confidence. I would look in the teams when they were playing together and the camaraderie they had. I mean, I really do feel as a sport parent myself also that it's not just about careers, but it's also about the kind of person it makes you for a lifetime.
Very true. Very true. Very true. It is like what you learn in the ground, sports ground. It's like a MBA degree in a big like some
Yeah.
top MBA schools. That's what we learn in the ground, and everything about leadership, empathy, team building, and that's the things you need everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Abhijit, for sharing about the league and for making time for this. And wishing all the very best. May the talent that has groomed through BVL find its way upwards, and really hoping that India also makes its mark at global platforms. All the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for making me part of this, and looking forward. Do come to Assam to watch our BVL children playing.
Would
Thank you.
absolutely love to. Thank you.